Dreadful darkness, hear my cry. Bring me one who cannot die. To serve my machination this or that, I conjure forth a kitty cat.
Hello, Wolfpack, your favorite web kitty catastrophe's new round begins. And we're finally reviewing Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Not again. Who's taking me hostage for a story arc this time?
I have, kitty cat.
My brother, Wolf, of Wolf Entertainment. Yield, creature of the night, why hast thou summoned me?
Cut the theatrics, cat. Where we're going, you only need to embrace the dark side. I, Wolf, your wise magical sibling, have summoned you here to do another wacky crossover classic together.
You couldn't have just called?
Where's the fun in that? We hunters love stirring up chaos. Besides, I didn't want you to scat from this chat, as I seek to resurrect fan love for the Darkstalkers original video animation.
Oh dear Mackay, I forgot. There was a second attempt at introducing a Darkstalkers animated series. After the embarrassing travesty of the child-friendly American cartoon, Capcom Studios sought a second chance at making their spooky saga mainstream again. Only this time, actually giving us an accurate adaptation through anime.
No way!
In my opinion, succeeding greatly. We all know the first Darkstalkers tune was uber trash, dog-do of the highest crap, but when Madhouse Studios was handed the property, we got a fantastic portrayal of the underrated game saga, which received a vastly more popular reception. As you can tell by this rad anime art, it was indeed very impressive.
Well, not entirely. Despite easily leaping over its doggy-do inbred American cuz, the OVA was not a flawless victory. Fans are more so split over how good or bad this is. While it got so much right and accurately represents its roots, the showrunners did take a few creative liberties here and there. Since when this was released, Darkstalkers did not have a concrete foundation for all lore yet. There's a ton to love about this anime miniseries. However, there was still an equal amount of bad and questionable directions, which didn't sit well with all fans, such as myself. Judging by how barely anyone remembers the Darkstalkers franchise outside of the iconic babes Morgan and Felicia, it's safe to say that this anime didn't quite smash that video game movie curse.
I don't smell a damn thing.
I'll admit, it's far from perfect, but still worthy of high praise regardless. It's nothing on par with the Mortal Kombat 95 classic or Resident Evil animes, but as a Darkstalkers fan, it did seduce me to the dark side with its killer art, savage action, and love for the monsters lurking in the shadows. For those uncultured in Masterpiece Gaming, Darkstalkers, aka Night Warriors, is a kick-ass fighting game saga basically revolving around the universal monsters and legends of scary folklore combating each other in an epic crossover over the fate of our world. Some fans would even joke that it's like Street Fighter wearing a Halloween costume. In this universe, supernatural creatures and cryptids known as the Darkstalkers are monster folk who live in the same realm as ordinary humans. However, their cultures come to a clash during big game events when the mortal world of Earth is threatened by cosmic evildoers seeking our realm's destruction.
Triggering the real fun. All the greatest universal monsters either teaming up or solo battling against overpowered foes, venture on their own character arcs and journeys to forge their moral identity, and maybe even learn something more about themselves. Heroes rise, villains grow worse, and humanity rethinks its views on these dark ones, proving whether or not they're more than monsters, or just as wicked as they presumed. And gamers have a rockin' fun time playing as hot chicks or badass horror icons, kicking arse and enjoying scary movies. Darkstalkers is not exactly in the same league as Devil May Cry, but it's a fun horror fighting game made phenomenal thanks to its colorful cast of characters. The Darkstalkers are just as compelling as the Street Fighters, if not more unique, as they all act as stand-ins for memorable horror ghouls. We've got the Wolfman, the Mummy, Frankenstein's monster, sexy Catwomen, and heck, even the Devil.
And, like any video game brand with 15 minutes of fame, Capcom had to capitalize on this killer hit. First, they tried with the American cartoon. It sucked.
Can't we talk this over? I've always liked you. Can't we just agree to part as friends? Shut up!
But then they actually got it right thanks to their anime adaptation, which again was flawed but miles better than the last one. This OVA holds a special place in my dark heart because it's such an underrated, beautiful mess which understood its assignment greatly and displayed how deep these video game warriors truly are. In literally 4 episodes of a short miniseries, this story washed the gross memories of the cartoon away by rewarding fans a wondrous, passionate epic of the first 2 games' awesomeness. However, over time we have gotten better video game adaptations lately, some actually delivering their franchises justice too, leading to this OVA sort of fading away in the dark. Though while fun, it did get forgotten years later, and even outclassed by brighter mainstream gems, leading to some questioning if this was really ever as good as we remember.
Which is why we're here today. I absolutely love the Darkstalkers, but I did have some issues with both the horse schlock American tune and the anime as well.
Judas!
I have more mixed feelings on this OVA, since I don't recall loving it as much as most, and thought the bad outweighed the good. Yet it has been a long while since I've seen this saga, so maybe it's better than I recall.
Does that mean you're in?
You know it, Wolfbane. Darkstalkers is amazing, and despite my hangups with their outside media, I wish to share its greatness with all. Though heads up, ghoulies, I won't be holding my kitty punches back. You're in for a fight. Is this anime indeed a lost gem which shines a positive light on an underrated art, or is it another game over for video game films? Let's duke it out with Wolfie and find out.
This is our review on the video game horror show Darkstalkers Revenge.
Baby, I'm the trouble man.
So, our episode opens up instantly with some action, as amateur vampire slayers epic fail at slaying Dimitri, a major villain protagonist from the games, dubbed by Paul Dobson. The vampire savior rises to bring forth a monster regime, giving us all some hope for an epic adaptation.
Although it's a tad clunky and rushed, Part 1 introduces newbies to the world of Darkstalkers. In this realm, monsters and humans live together side by side, leading to much unpleasant horrors and prejudice.
The humans fear the dark, and yet, in order to escape it, might they themselves be the first to cast aside their own humanity.
The short take is, humans and monsters do not get along, where exactly like the games, this relationship will be challenged by the rise of worse foes. For now, we learn that Dimitri's the king of beasts as he rules over Europe and forges an empire in order to declare war on Hell, aka the Makai, a Hell-adjacent dimension, for exiling him. For good reason, Dimitri's a dick.
The sounds of your suffering are the greatest gift you can bestow upon me. Soundwave superior.
Can you believe he has no friends?
Dimitri and Lady Morgan are honestly fantastic in episode 1, but tragically they don't stay that way. At least half of the characters are perfectly captured here, especially Dmitri Maximoff and Felicia, so there is clearly a basic understanding of most of their personas. While nowhere near as suave as his game counterpart, Dimitri's a wicked villain protagonist. Maximoff has blocked out the sun, oppresses the land, made life hell for mortals, and even abuses his own subjects, clearly solidifying that fear the dark race has.
And here I've been thinking the humans were clever creatures. Is not a lifetime of faithful servitude to me the greatest happiness their kind can attain? I'm not a monster.
One huge positive I'll praise is definitely the animation. This art is spectacular. You can absolutely tell all the money and effort went into drawing the characters in action, because they totally look just like the game.
This animation has held up really well, to this day looking like an anime you'd see now. The game icons look like themselves, the action's fluid, and the atmosphere is supernatural. Say what you will about the writing or dubbing, but its incredible animation made the game characters look just as cool as they are on the arcade cabinets, and absolutely keeps this out of decayed skull turf.
Agreed. I can't hate this art style because it made my favorite characters gorgeous. Alas, great visuals doesn't mean it's immune to other probs.
We cut to the Makai Council shitting themselves as war with the banished vampire is inevitable, and they fear Lady Morgan, princess of the underworld, is unready because she's like a total party girl who lives for fun, yo. The best character of this saga, Lady Morgan Ainsland, arrives to class up the show by sharing her epicness for all, since the succubus makes love and war.
Have you no desire to rise against this Dimitri and take his throne? Those who have lost their pride lose also their right to live.
The great and powerful Trixie herself, Kathleen Barr, stars as our video game crush, nailing the role perfectly. Morgan kicks ass and looks good while doing it, which the anime really shows off through her wild runaway princess persona without fail. Just like in the games, the princess is highly proficient at combat, has an enchantress level of charm oozing from her, a gnarly demon design, and more confident suave than Poison Ivy. Not to mention she's hotter than hell. Chun-Li wishes she was this hot.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was a freak like me?
Like in the game, Morgan runs afoul of Dimitri, yet feels intrigued about meeting him.
Speaking of intriguing, we also meet the real best icon, Felicia. Oh yeah, my favorite gal's on the prowl, and is another great portrayal here. For those who don't know, Felicia's the spunky, optimistic, fun-loving cat girl, who's a rare noble Darkstalker, trying to spread peace and love, in spite of the troubled waters surrounding her kind. She only seeks to entertain and rise as a music star, even though society fears Darkstalkers. Yet she still tries with her traveling circus in this incarnation. Also, you will not believe who plays our kawaii kitty.
Okay, I've got the public performance license for Darkstalkers. Guess all I need now is a license for the human world.
Eddie, leave Jimmy alone!
Yep, it's Sarah! Janice Jod flexes some smooth acting chops as she goes from being a creature from hell into an angelic hope bringer.
Baby sister's all cuddly and sweet like Dad's bushy ears.
Alas, she needs a license for her showcase.
Riveting excitement, eh?
Say, do either of you know where the human world city hall is? Meow.
Catwoman has taught her well. Felicia's easily my fave, as not only is her lovely design perfect, but she's arguably the most kind-hearted hero amongst a gloomy cast, because she only wants to bring joy and happiness to all. Tragically, she picked a bad day to hang because humanity is declaring war on all Darkstalkers.
Oh.
The mortal world has had enough, as their lives are ruined, terrible crops, weekly monster invasions, and thanks to Maxie's lights out, cold nights for several months, causing them to crave
Revenge!
It's here where we learn of the true theme and main idea behind this entire series, which will unfortunately be repeated all throughout the saga like a bad catastrophe gag. Darkstalkers is an allegorical commentary about racism and morality. The Dark Ones are a rare minority race whom suffers discrimination, persecution, hatred, and fear from humans just for being monsters. However, due to the bad blood between both peoples, the adventure tests the morality within all characters. As the series asks the questions, are Darkstalkers truly good or evil? Many of the Darkstalkers are vicious monsters who do harm innocents, yet we see the world has shades of gray because some Dark Ones are victims of intolerance or wish to merely live only for humans to be the real monsters in their eyes, leading to all Darkstalkers revealing who they truly are deep down and discovering more about themselves as they either evolve or devolve into better or worse souls. Characters like Felicia and Cinco are kind people who try proving Darkstalkers are capable of good. Antagonists such as Dimitri and Bishaman are bad seeds who grow worse, and many morally ambiguous fighters such as Morgan and Donovan discover a good deep down in both these silly humans or even in themselves. The normal human world is also tested, since the events of the game cause problems between everyone in the worst ways possible.
How long has it been since the dwellers of the dark came among us and robbed humanity of its nourishing and essential light?
Race war!
It's a key trait which made the Darkstalkers grander than given credit for, because it's a timeless concept about what's acceptable in society and how your environment can forge your identity. And even those naysayer humans are not so morally righteous as the monsters they dread either, since even they suffer abuse from the Dark Ones and are fighting back, yet often cross lines themselves, raising serious dilemmas on who's right or wrong.
Sadly, their war includes all innocent Darkstalkers as well. Both Felicia and Lord Raptor get targeted, even humankind's just as immoral as the monsters they fight, exposing how deranged this world's downward spiraling. These two only want to entertain, but suffer race riots. That's right, Lord Raptor shows up to host a concert, and inadvertently saves a lost kitty.
You're one of the Dark Ones, aren't you? I can tell from the smell.
Oh, we don't say Dark Ones anymore. The politically correct term's Darkstalkers.
Not just any Lord Raptor, that's freaking Scott McNeil, the original cartoon voice of Lord Raptor, as literally the sole past actor reprising his role for this new iteration. Although he's only on screen for like 3 minutes, Scott McNeil's bossa nova as the zombie rockstar because he delivers 1000% in his role, reminding us all why Raptor's still a metal zombie legend. Although he's more of a glorified cameo, his screen time is the highlight of episode 1.
For a bunch of holy rollers.
During his concert, some religious exorcists ambush the demon artists and nearly kill them. Luckily, Raptor's too hot to handle.
Oh, the show ain't over yet. Don't you want to buy a t-shirt?
A gnarly showcase of what these demons can truly do. Felicia loses easily, where Raptor saves her by swallowing souls. And oddly, in a massive out-of-character moment, she's totally okay with death.
What you say, kitty cat? You want I should save you a couple of souls?
Thanks for the offer, but I'm not much for organized religion.
Irony!
There's something darkly hilarious how kind, sweet, pure Felicia is cracking wise about a psycho murdering dozens of human souls. Screw them, they ruined my show.
And that's the last time we ever see Lord Raptor.
What?
Yeah, through absolutely zero explanation, Lord Raptor vanishes from the rest of this plot. Sad Scotty had to go, but it was worth it to hear him dub more Jetfire lines.
We return to Dimitri, eager for invading, as he finally breaches the Nether Realm. Through the Star Trek transport? I'm sure nobody will ever recognize those obscure sound bites.
Dimitri seeks to conquer the Demon Realm, but Lady Morgan blocks his path, where we receive the coolest battle all OVA and every fan's dream: Morgan versus Dimitri. The fight scene is amazing. The radical action is another major highlight of this entire show because it reminds everyone how wicked Darkstalkers fights are. Just like on the console, we have tons of kick-ass visuals, glorious art which captures all the classic character movesets, and even stellar dialogue lifted right out of the game.
I almost regret that the outcome of our little match has been decided. There can be but one victor today, and that is I.
It's been a while since I've had such a good battle. But I do wish you wouldn't talk quite so much.
It's genuinely a remarkable feat how the artists got all the game moves perfectly, making it feel like the source material. Say what you will about the narrative, but the action always delivers.
Unfortunately, the decline begins once the plot arrives, when Huitzelbots arise, detecting superpowers. The Huitzelbots are mecha mooks who serve the main villain Pyron as his loyal minions, who would only activate by the time their overlord would return to Earth, which naturally is now.
That's on the 15th.
Huitzel is an Aztec robot who can detect beings as powerful as their lord and master, in this case, Darkstalkers. Their main goal is only to exterminate all threats Dalek style, which leads to them ruining the demon fight, forcing the vamps to pause in order to crush some cans. Huitzel's always been a fun, serious foe, and the anime makes them feel like unsettling battle droids, so seeing them combat my favorite icons is pure amusement.
Their invasion reveals that this is actually an adaptation of Darkstalkers 2, the plot of Pyron. The ultimate villain is returning to this planet, so the Dark Ones must stop fighting the humans and each other in order to survive.
The targets possess extreme power. It may prove necessary to alter attack parameters.
This is all intense build-up to our antagonist Pyron, the Super Devil, as his robots act as omens of his oncoming destruction. If you thought things were bad now, just wait.
Alas, even with all this epic suspense, things are about to slip downhill when we meet our real hero, Donovan. Yes, for reals, Donovan. Donovan is the central protagonist we're focusing on, because out of all the fantastic monsters in this saga, the OVA chose the most boring, dull, vanilla stiff in a world full of magical badasses. Donovan is meant to be the Van Helsing of Darkstalkers. He's a traveling warrior monk who's dedicated his entire life to slaying evil, using his spiritual avatar power over the elements and his slick Zabuza sword by his side. However, Donovan is boring and ultra angsty. This guy's easily the lamest character of the anime because he kills the mood every time he's on screen, as he's simply not fun.
Do they fight because they cannot coexist? One unable to tolerate the existence of the other. Both sides fighting until the other is destroyed. That is the way of man. However, it is also the way of the demon. This world yearns for death.
To be fair, Donovan has a compelling backstory, as he's half human and half Darkstalker, struggling with his identity because he tries maintaining control over both sides of his inner spirit. He genuinely is a great character in the games due to his serious trials over fighting to steady himself, gain inner peace over who he is, and purging this world of monsters for the greater good at the same time.
The greater good. Unfortunately, the OVA does not showcase him at his best, and not helping matters is that Donovan is so dull compared to all the cooler castmates people love in this saga. I'd rather we have a more entertaining protag. Morgan, Felicia, Lord Raptor, or heck, even Dimitri are more interesting than him. But no, we're stuck with Emo Dante. And don't say, oh, Cat's being mean. You look me dead in the eye and tell me that Donovan is your all-time favorite Darkstalker. Nobody has ever thought that.
At least they grant him more justification to be here, as we're reminded that some Dark Ones are a bane upon humanity. We see a random poor village suffer monster attacks, and refugees seeking refuge from them, including Anita. Yep, the little girl who hangs with Donovan is here too, as we gain her origin. A circus troupe picked her up from a war zone, only to discover she's a Darkstalker too, leading to a debate over her fate.
Some idiot brat screw around with the circus toys and troll Anita when she spots them, who exposes her powers to scare him off. This only leads to the idiot bully squealing and inciting panic among Intolerant Town, leading to...
Race war! Race war!
Yeah, as much as I do enjoy morally gray storytelling and understand the importance of accepting others, the OVA is flooded with super unsubtle racism messages. Not quite to the same length as modern Disney's crap or Netflix Devil May Cry, but it gets very ham-fisted fast. The Darkstalkers OVA has this racism is bad moral all throughout our narrative, and what makes it go from good to bad is how often repetitive repetitive it gets. They repeat the Darkstalkers are bad, and the no they aren't all monsters gimmick too often, and the writing behind it doesn't even have the nuance of the dang Pocahontas movie.
If we don't do something soon, those Dark Ones are gonna come here and kill all of us, too!
He's right! It's kill or be killed!
Let's kill them before they kill us!
Yeah!
Saddle!
I definitely see a valid point there, but while it does get in your face with it, this is still very loyal to the original theme of the series, so it's not like it doesn't belong. The OVA just forgets that at the end of the day, the Darkstalkers are supposed to be fun. The game balances out a natural tone of both goofy fun and dark serious themes very well, so while I do wish we had a few more zany scenes, it's great seeing the Darkstalkers treated maturely so some like me can appreciate parts. Plus, it lacks Green Day playing anti-America music and 9/11 parallels, so we won't die of cringe.
I already miss Morgan and the cutie. The lynch mob assaults the church, causing even more danger than Anita, forcing Donovan to step in, pulling his ultimate trump card, speeches.
So the child can become angry. It would seem you have some will to live after all. If so, stop running and choose to live. Say what you will, but I am a vampire hunter. And I say to you now that I will rid this world of the dark.
Is he seriously giving a speech right now? Is he seriously giving a speech right now?
Yeah, this is a colossal reason why I hate this Donovan. He will always have a long-ass monologue ready, where he talks about the inner darkness of the world, of humanity, and even himself. For hours, preaching about how society is far from perfect, and we all suck, he sucks, yada yada yada. They get irritating fast, and as if they weren't clunky as hell, these get way too much focus over the action.
Donovan wrecks those fools with mad skills, revealing how he's a Dark One too, and not to be messed with, leading to him and Anita forming a bond. The priest nearly kills a little girl, but it's all good, as Donovan convinces them to let him adopt her because they're the same. For some reason, he breaks her cute dolly to expose that she feels feelings after all, and this wins her over, starting their friendship arc from the game.
But that cannot be. Humans are weak.
Nevertheless, I tell you I will triumph over the dark.
You cannot. How can you do what cannot be done?
Believe it or not, that's My Little Pony's Andrea Libman voicing Anita. Yes, sweet shy Fluttershy and party pony Pinkie Pie is acting as our emotionless, jaded cynic Anita. And as much as I want to compliment her acting, I think this is one of Libman's worst roles. Yeah, as much as I love Darkstalkers, I never liked Anita. Anita, like Donovan, is boring. She's a cold, emotionless emo brat who basically needs to learn how to feel again. But I simply don't care for her. She's not that cool in the games, she spent most of her fame being a background character, and Libman doesn't get to do much as she's mainly Donovan's morality pet. That's it.
She's far from the worst character ever, but I agree. Anita has a cute friendship with Donovan, and is only a problem because she hogs screen time from the superior stars like Morgan and Dimitri, who are way cooler. I don't hate her, but I do think her spotlight could have been granted to better icons we wanted to see. At least we learned how she became besties with Dee.
The racist Dark Bashers get their karma from Huitzel, who uncovers more monsters to hunt, ending Chapter 1 on a solid start. So with this decent setup, what excitement happens in Chapter 2?
Nothing!
Yeah, I mean no excaturation when I say Chapter 2 is entirely pointless. It's a complete waste of time, as it's merely a lame, dragged-out filler episode. The only big events are that we meet Hasinko, Lord Pyron cameos, and there's a Donovan vs. Bishaman side quest. But most of these get explained later in episode 3, rendering most of this moot. This is weak.
Oh, don't be such a grumpy cat. It's not all bad. Easily the best part is we meet the sexy slick sisters, Mei Ling and Sinko. the duo are easily dazzling protagonists as they're so fun, charming, magical, and just as kick-ass as Morgan. Sinko and her sister Mei Ling are Chinese vampires, introduced as adventurous Darkstalkers bounty hunters who help right wrongs, where they exterminate
spiders! A giant legion of spiders!
Wouldn't it have made more sense if they zapped cubies?
Not important. What is important is that they breathe in so much life into this tale thanks to their lovable, enchanting personalities and fierce skills. It's made hilarious knowing that Sinko is voiced by Princess Celestia, Nicole Oliver, in one of her early roles, making it very amusing to hear the noble queen spouting such lines like,
What? You want more? Being drunk don't make you invincible, you know.
I'll confess, they're plain awesome. This anime gave me a newfound appreciation of the twins because they're so fun and way cooler than boring-ass D. Hasinko's rad and surprisingly, for a ghost, hot as hell. I don't know how they did it, but the OVA made them as gnarly as both Morgan and Felicia.
Thanks to your efforts, this land is now safe for maidens.
Whoa, what does that make me?
Basically, the twins are rogue, kick-ass bounty hunters who compete with and later befriend DNA, as they both desire a similar goal.
Some drunk goons hit on the sisters, where we see how badass they truly are in a display of their game moves, as well as learn their dynamic. Both of them are Chinese vampires, Jiangxi, but fused together to form the same powerful body. While Hasinko's the bronze, Mei Ling is her magic talisman and brain, keeping her monster sis from losing control.
Yeah, I know. Don't kill him, just hurt him a little bit, right?
And both of them are oodles of fun, as they share a cute sisterly chemistry together, bickering like brats at times, but having wholesome sweet moments too. They are adorable.
She's a monster!
Monster? Is that what you think of me? I'm a Chinese vampire.
Uh-oh, I suppose hopping ghosts are kind of like monsters.
What do you want, a group rate?
These girls are cooler than our pro tag. Why weren't they the real heroes?
The world may never know.
Sadly, as I said, this whole episode's a droll side quest. Some rich elitist prick hires D to kill Bishaman, a samurai ghost warrior, because he owns a cursed armor which he desires. You see, this super armor is not only great for combat, but its magic can keep its wearer immortal.
Donovan slays some random Chinese dudes.
Why is he killing these guys?
Not important. But this battle catches the public eye, so Emperor Moneybags hires him for the job, and Donovan agrees only because he believes this bounty is the big bad. As cool as he is, Bishaman's used as a decoy antagonist, a fake-out villain who's here to trick the newbie audiences with the idea that he's the actual main villain of the plot. A clever deception and a sick intro to a gruesome foe. Bishaman's a big scary monster hunting all of Asia in order to satiate his bloodlust by killing everything. It's a rather nice debut of this monster, since it does a grand job delving into his backstory.
We cut to some Spaniard highwaymen.
What time is it?
Who ambush some innocent merchants to use as bait, luring in the ghost warrior as he craves blood, only to epic fail when he soon arrives.
I dig Savage Bishaman. The samurai's a beast, literally. He reveals that he's like the Venom symbiote, a powerful parasite leeching off a host to live and carry on endless battle, which made him one badass motherfucker.
Much too slow. Did you think you could take me with your pathetic strength? Am I not worth a greater effort?
Please!
But I've not killed nearly enough!
He's so deadly that Donovan steps in to reward us another epic death battle.
The action's tight, up until the climax. When Bish nearly offs some bystanders, D saves them with his badass masculinity, only to anticlimactically defeat the foe with speeches.
Your blood interests me not. I come only to destroy.
I don't get it! Why did he try to save us?
I will rid this world of the dark.
I don't get it! He uses the power of the dark to destroy the dark! Why? Why would he do that? Why?
It's official. You suck.
Yep, all this time and build-up, and Bishaman dies from a logic bomb. Oh, but when the armor falls, Bishaman's ghost is set free, where he also gives a moral speech too. And no kiddin', this speech over finding inner peace goes on for nearly 10 minutes. 10 minutes of the two just sitting around, talking, doing nothing but talking.
For one with the power of the dark to long for its destruction, does that not in fact deny you and your own existence?
Suicide is betrayal of the self. The inconsistencies of my life are not something I need explain.
The life you have chosen to lead is that of a true and virtuous soul. Even more strangely, it would seem your journey for answers is no longer solely your own. Live on and show me the way. Do not be tempted by the dark
It's so freaking boring that I was falling asleep. All this debate does is explain Bishaman's origin and how we need honor. That's all.
Well, that was pointless.
Oh, and Rich Dick swipes the armor only to die.
Well, that was pointless.
This somehow convinces Bishaman's ghost to turn good with the demon armor, where he makes peace with the heroes, giving them a horsey and goes,
"Fuck this shit, I'm out."
All this was a 100% pointless side quest where nothing happens. Just a cheap trick to make us think Bishaman was the final boss, but nope, he ain't.
Instead, Pyron is, because the devils here performed gloriously by the legendary David K.
Yes, yes, yes. No! Yes.
Halfway in, the head alien leads in order to explore this new world. David K's Lord Pyron is a ferocious foe, as not only does he have the final boss energy, but his hammy performance is delightful. He was so good as Pyron that he'd actually go on to voice the other best Darkstalkers baddie, Jeddah Doma.
Dante, son of Sparta, half human, half demon, and a traitor to both.
We learned that he's the endgame villain, as the Huitzelbots are his thugs who've monitored Earth since the dawn of time in his glorious name. He bear witnessed our globe's creation since the beginning, and kept it in his sight until the time came to liberate it.
You're setting us free?
Well, actually, I'm just gonna eat you. See you at dinner.
Yarp. Pyron seeks to eat our world Galactus style, but his drones warn him of the Darkstalkers because they're the first creatures in this universe who have powers rivaling his own, which Pyron loves because he lusts a challenge.
We get the sole plot point by the end, where DNA are saved by the vampire twins, who are as annoyed by Anita as me.
What's the matter with you? Are you a defect?
I love how Hasinko calls her a defect.
Are you a defect?
In short, the girls patch the pair up and form an odd friendship, leading to them becoming our prime hero team, facing Pyron's armada. With speeches, of course.
Long have I cursed the blood of the dark that fills my veins. Long have I sought to find value in my own life by striving to rid this world of the dark.
Stop talking! Realizing how lethal Darkstalkers are, Pyron leaps to the challenge, starting by tearing down Dimitri Town, summoning Light to cheat.
So mad!
Part 3's a masterful upgrade, since it shines spotlight on the best characters. The vampire twins, Morgan and Felicia. In all seriousness, I legit think this is the best episode of the arc, because Donovan gets sidelined in favor of all the icons we actually love. For starters, we gain the backstory on the twins, revealing how not all monsters were born monsters. The twins were once living humans, and apparently Hasinko used to be Chun-Li. Their mother was a noble sorceress who safeguarded our world, before she tragically sacrificed herself to prevent a comet, actually Pyron in energy form, from destroying our world.
Pyron's creation is pure awesomeness. The devil's really an ancient cosmic being who devours planets, once attempting to do the same to Earth before Mama Ling banished him back into outer space, only delaying the inevitable. It's a real wicked monster birth, since it shows you how divine Pyron truly is, supported greatly by David K's voice.
How could I have forgotten? Yes, this feeling, this urge, this will to kill.
In simple terms, Pyron is Capcom's Galactus, as he wants to take a bite out of the Earth.
But enough of that boring stuff, since we gotta have more pointless human drama. We get a slow-ass scene focusing on the chaos of Earth's apocalypse, as the human world is feeling something dark on the horizon. The twins want to fight as refugees and Dee flee, only to score another boring-ass act of human sucking. Some rich butt wipes are cutting in line to save themselves and act douchey towards Anita's doll, so we can be reminded that people suck. It's dull, unpleasant, and only leads to DNA getting booted when their powers are exposed, forcing them to join the twins anyway.
Well, that was pointless.
Dee scares folks with his badass masculinity, yet this OVA fails again by having more telling over showing.
Born between the light and the dark, a Damphir such as he cannot hope to exist among the humans.
This is why I have beef with this anime, because they constantly tell us everything. How the characters feel, the deep backstories, and things we can clearly see with our own eyes. It drags this arc down royally, because some of this stuff can be conveyed by the visuals, but they keep using long monologues and speeches to tell you how to feel. They tell us the heroes are pals. They tell us Earth has good. They tell us humans are flawed. And tell us half the plot. But they don't need to. It's annoying.
You can't just have your characters announce how they feel. That makes me feel angry.
We finally solidify the heroes as pals once the twins inform them of their origins, at last giving a show and tell. The sisters used to be innocent girls serving as their mom's magic padawans until she fell. Mama Ling inspired them to be heroes through her heroic sacrifice, breaking their hearts but leading them to growing up into avenging heroes following in her footsteps. The twins seek to carry on their mom's noble mission. It's a tragic yet heartwarming story successfully humanizing the Darkstalkers. Through her death, the twins embrace their heritage as Dark Ones, but committed themselves to using their powers for good and killing the comet monster again. Their mother knew she was going to die, but she chose to fall in battle anyway for the sake of her girls. Admittedly, this is a huge alteration from their game origin, but a good one. It's such a beautiful scene because it not only makes the twins endearing, but offers a great message on hope and carrying on good, even in the face of a bleak world.
We will do it, you know. We will. We'll free Mother's soul from the darkness, and we won't let it beat us. We won't.
The show gets hotter once Morgan reappears, gifting us a nude scene for sexy sake.
I know we'll do that villain.
That was vital to the plot, because now she's getting involved.
Perhaps I can forget my boredom for a while.
Basically, Morgan revisits a grounded Dimitri to warn us all of the conflict. Lord Pyron's here to kill us all, just as the prophecy foretold. And they're clearly starting at Vampire Town, so she proposes a deadly alliance, only for Maximoff to say, hell no, but this ain't over yet.
Dimitri's a moron. I hope Morgan doesn't degrade herself further for him.
Oh!
Things get fun again when John Tailbane, the martial arts wolfman, enters the scene as he too dodges racist humans and kicks tail. It's wicked seeing Tailbane here because he's super chill even if underutilized.
Underutilized? Try barely present. I'm sorry guys, but I always thought John the Wolf was shafted hard by this show. He pops up in random scenes, barely banters with Felicia, gets a few action clips, and worst of all, they never once utter his name. Yeah, John Tailbane, badass anti-hero and fan fave, never gets his dang name said.
We threw out his name!
Yeah, admittedly the OVA did give half the Darkstalkers less screen time than others. I would have much rather preferred John in a main character slot, but what we get isn't too shabby, since he's still a mysterious badass. Tragically, his random appearances are a bad sign of how off the rails this show becomes later.
What? But yippee skippy, Felicia's back, here to score gold points. Sadly, her circus is a dud, since nobody's having fun due to that whole doomsday BS, prompting her to to do something about it. She gets her chance to build trust when she detects danger with her cat sense.
What?
Cat sense. I can smell him.
What?
And this is why I love Felicia, you know, outside of her angelic allure, because ultimately she's a hero. When the Darkstalkers are being falsely accused of the rising evil, she tries doing the right thing and prove the world wrong by being a credit to her race, reminding all of us how heroes stick to the high road and not get broken by even small bad luck. Felicia's cat sense the Huitzel invasion, who are here to exterminate. So Catgirl claws in, slashing some bad robos in her first solo battle, only to get her tail whooped.
You suck.
Yeah, this is another negative. Felicia really sucks in this. Because she's the good girl of Darkstalkers, the OVA simplifies her into a poor victimized loser who we feel sorry for, which is a big middle finger to Felicia fans.
I mean, she was poisoned by the holy magic earlier, and even the OVA pokes fun at how nerfed she is, and not this sucky.
This can't be happening to me. It's just way too pathetic.
Pointing out her problems surprisingly doesn't fix the problems. Felicia is not as battle competent as the other warriors, as she's saved by literally every other good guy in this. She needs rescuing all the time. She's saved by Lord Raptor, saved by John Tailbane, and even saved by an old man. This is not the same lady who went toe-to-toe with the devil. This is Felicia Graham. Luckily, she's at least in character and far more likable than Netflix Dante.
You shot my leg! Why would you shoot my leg?
As mentioned prior, John saves the day and begins his quirky friendship with the Stray, I think.
Weak ones like you should know their place and stay out of trouble.
Weak, huh? Is that any way to talk to a lady in distress?
John and Felicia are usually fun together because of their perfect chemistry and capture two clashing views on this screwed up universe very well. I wish we got more of them together because they pack so much depth.
Which is why after her beating, John ditches her.
What an asshole!
But it's okay, since Felicia's actually saved by, are you ready for this? Good humans, who nurse their fluffy guard cat. One of them an elderly doctor played by Gary Chalk.
I'd say that's prime.
And this is why I love this episode and our cute kitten, because it captures the feel-good side of the game supremely, as this segment is about hope and heroism. For the first time in this angst fest, Felicia and the humans surprisingly get along. Felicia confesses that she wanted to save their town because she couldn't let them die, and the doc saved her in turn because he saw what she did. Risk her life to help them from monsters even though dark ones have a bad rep, giving both hope for a peaceful coexistence.
You really shouldn't have helped me, you know. Don't you know how much trouble you could get in?
Perhaps you don't know us as well as you think.
This is the peak of the racism theme, because it's what this show should have been all about. Humanizing the Darkstalkers and allowing the Muggles to view them as people like them. Just another solid reason to adore this kitty.
The show keeps it very mature too. Felicia's idealism is challenged when some French Nazis take over the town, declaring war on all Darkstalkers and shooting first, ask questions later, because the government is stupid.
How are we supposed to get out of town? You are going to let us leave, aren't you?
Leave? But why would you want to do that when we've come so far to protect you? There's no reason to flee.
I'm the government, I'm the government, I'm the reason nothing works.
Opinions divide over the cat girl as the troops fear Felicia while others defend her. She attempts to save refugees with her train to help out, only to get shot and detained by the Nazis.
I just think it's an excuse to get the sexy gal in bondage, which is vital to the arc. As expected, the troops are racist jerks, blaming her kind for this war. But despite this BS, Felicia manages to hold on to her ideals due to human love.
That's why I love humans. Just when you think you figured them out, they do something to surprise you.
Oh, she's so precious. Why isn't she the real hero? I'm rooting for her more than Angsty Pie.
The government gets their karma when Huitzols return, bombarding the town. So much for being a shield for their homeland.
I'm the reason nothing works.
And no kitten, Felicia's saved by an old man. She sucks so much that a civilian doctor busts her out of prison. Morgan's worthy rival, folks. They do try giving her a badass solo moment when she repays her new pals by attempting a heroic sacrifice, leading the bots away on a government choo-choo. But nope, she still needs aid here too. Once she gets the mechs to follow, John shows up again right the hell out of nowhere so he can save the dimwit Kit with his plan.
Up for a nice hard run?
So I don't have to die? You bet!
Then come on!
Dog superior, cat inferior. We get an underrated kick-ass climax of the pet duo pulling a deceptive con on those Decepticons by blowing this railway to Mackay, killing the bots and rewarding the pair a happy ending.
Tell me, how does a Darkstalker come to care for human lives?
There are those willing to understand us. If you give them the chance, it's only a matter of time. You know, they're coming to understand us.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. I know it's true.
I'll admit, this scene is wholesome to infinity. I love how John and Felicia get a wicked team up off some baddies, and Felicia and even John grow a newfound appreciation over good triumphing in the end. This was pawsome.
And this is the last time we ever see our cat and wolf.
What?
Yeah, no joke. We never see Felicia or John tailbane again in the rest of this anime. They both awkwardly disappear. By this point, you start feeling the story gets rushed because so many of these characters and subplots vanish or get dropped completely in order to wrap up the central arc. There was likely a deadline approaching, forcing the studio to cut corners for a wrap-up. I hate to give my grumpy cat credit, but the problems do indeed start surfacing as we approach the finale. Felicia and John randomly vanishing for the rest of this saga is our biggest red flag.
Why did the cute kitty and wicked wolf have to leave? So now we can get more Donovan! Yeah, the Boar Buds return, gearing up to face the final boss. However, the band breaks up cause Dee angsts too much, but Anita expresses emotion. She feels sad over the Vamp twins leaving, where at last, she lets go and cries. In the most hilarious acting you'll ever cringe.
They're just gonna go die.
What the heck is that? This is our big emotional Anita moment, Cat Pack. It's so ridiculous. The great Andrea Libman, every pony. Yeah, this is what I meant when I said Libman's performance was lousy.
Come on, kitty cat. She's feeling feelings again. It shows she's grown to love. Or possibly holding back diarrhea.
Well, I've grown impatient. You know what this goofy-ass scene leads to?
Nothing!
This just shows Dee how Anita loves the sisters now, so the band reunites after just 3 minutes after breaking up. They only broke up for 2 scenes and are already back together again, meaning there was 0 reason to have them part ways in the first place.
Well, that was pointless.
But now, let's get ready for Letdown with the finale.
At long last, Pyron is ready to rumble. The clock is ticking. The stage is set. All heroes prepare for war, and the Huitzols form the Huitzolzord.
and instant suckitude occurs when Pyron punk kills several of the best game characters. No joke, fan faves Anacharis, Rikuo, Victor, and Sasquatch all show up to just die.
Yeah, this brief montage left a sour taste in my fangs. There could have been so many grand story arcs and character appearances for future seasons, but they just flushed them all down the crapper. It's supposed to show how overpowered Pyron is, but it wastes so many unique stars we would have loved seeing. Not to mention, screws over the fan bases these heroes had. Well, except for Rikuo, he deserved it.
But finally, after all this buildup, his hype, and lethal rise to power, Dimitri steps into the ring to bash Satan, where he gets his ass kicked.
You suck.
Are you serial? All that screen time and slick villain riz, and Maximoff loses faster than 4 punk kills? Yep, the best villain is out.
I'm such a dork.
Pyron proves himself to be a smug Blood Knight as he demands more opponents. So, like on the game, he actually provides Earth a countdown to save their world if somebody can best him in a match. Classic video game boss.
However, once his Death Stars start wrecking it up, right the hell out of nowhere, Quetzal, his soulless robot minions, turn good. Yeah, for reals, out of sheer random, the evil robots are good now, and turn against their master, who's a threat to their domain.
In the games, Quetzal actually had a redemption arc where he grew beyond his programming and fought back against his cruel master. The Aztec Autobot actually befriends a gentle, kind native boy who forms an odd, if sweet, kinship with the robot, allowing the machine to understand that there's more than meets the eye with these silly humans, convincing Quetzal to care about human souls. In an Iron Giant style story, the once monstrous mecha becomes a good friend, fighting to defend the humans, even sacrifices himself by slaying Pyron. Unfortunately, this entire redemption arc was thrown out the damn window on the OVA, so it makes no sense.
Quetzal's whole redemption arc is ruined because it's total bull here, as his entire story occurred off screen. He's just good now.
You always win when you are good.
Oh, and he epic fails as Pyron kills him, meaning this was solely done to wrap up his plot thread. Speaking of epic fails, we cut to the Demon Council squabbling like morons, who decide to do nada over the Armageddon, which will kill all life. God dang it, even in hell, politicians are stupid.
I'm the government. I'm the reason nothing works.
Thankfully, Morgan says fuck politics and takes over because she's an Iron Lady.
I know we'll do that villain.
Suddenly, a fight breaks out as Pyron forces are even invading Hell, where Ainsland takes charge. But enough of that boring stuff. Let's cut back to more Donovan. That's where the fun is, right?
The government tries containing the prob, where, no lie, we see Dr. Wily and his spec ops shooting the Death Stars with frickin' laser beams, melting down Dimitri Town, only to be halted by our heroes, so they can give more speeches.
Neither side will accept you. Why not kill them all? It is a harsh truth, but it is uniquely yours.
A truth uniquely mine. A harsh truth that reflects my solitude.
I hate him so much.
Oh, sweet Primus, why are we still doing this? We're on the frickin' finale, and we're still getting overly long exposition dumps, too much focus on the humans, and more Donovan angst. It's so boring, and drags what should be an epic climax down to pain. After all that great stuff with Felicia about acceptance, we just gained more unsubtle social commentary.
And now a god has made contact with man. It is an undeniable sign that a new truth has been revealed to us. Humans must hate the dark. This is the message our God gives us this day. It is the only path we may follow.
Yeah, the short version, D faces discrimination, cries about his inner darkness, and the government lets them try to fix this because cowards. This lasts forever, only to rehash the same crap from every episode. I want to see my heroes act cool, not cry like hippies.
At least things get hot when Morgan returns.
I know we'll do that villain.
She's here for the final duel, and knowing our princess, we're in for unholy fun.
And by unholy fun, we mean she pusses out, never fights again, and elopes with Dimitri, wanting to run away together to have some end-of-the-world sex. The best kind of sex.
Strange. Here I thought I could never be attracted to anyone but a strong man. Imagine my helping the likes of you.
Well, this is it. The end of everything.
Only one thing we can do now.
What the fuck? Morgan Ainsland, of all characters, not only pussies out of her final fight, and not only never saves the day like in the games, but she willingly hooks up with her arch enemy, Dmitri Maximoff, to run away and be with together forever?
Oh, Whiskers.
How fucking dare you? Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? This is not Morgan at all. Dmitri Maximoff is a creepy beta-ass gooner who Morgan scoffs at and ridicules first off. Morgan isn't a coward. She would never wuss out of a fight, let alone a war, which would doom her entire home. Second, Morgan's entire arc of accepting her role as ruler over the Makai and obtaining a newfound interest in these puny humans is totally shot on in favor of Donovan. And lastly, she would never, ever simp for this creepy Dimitri, let alone hand him her kingdom because he's good in bed. Bullshitsu. This is the lady who would rather be petrified for eternity as a conscious stone statue held prisoner by the vampire lord before ever sleeping with him. That's how much she cares about this bastard. This is almost as horrid a fundamental misunderstanding of her character as Netflix's take on Lady. This scene is massively out of character for Morgan Ainsland and a spit in the face to her entire fan base. Also, what did Dimitri even do which turned her on? He attacks her home and got his ass beat by Megatron. Yeah, what a man, eh, ladies? This is garbage of the highest toxic bile. Whoever wrote this shit didn't understand Morgan's character at all, because this thing is not our girl. Oh, and just to piss you off even further, this is the last time we ever see both fan favorites Dimitri and Morgan, the two arguably best title stars of the franchise, just disappear into the Shadow Realm after all this. Fuck this.
I am he who shall become king over all the demon world.
It may be your right.
You suck.
Wolf, you're even scaring me. Literally, the only heroes here are the Hasinko twins, because they're actually combating Pyron in his final boss stage, despite being too weak to save the Earth. It's astounding how frickin' Hasinko is more lovable and heroic than Morgan, Felicia, and even Donovan. You vamp fans eating good tonight.
You're hot!
It's fairly gnarly, but as any gamer knows, Pyron's a cheap bastard. The twins lose, but Anita arrives helping Donovan get his groove back, now ready to slay, where he gets his ass kicked.
You suck.
Brings back old arcade memories of those quarter-munching bosses.
But as Dee's dying, we gain one more speech!
His hatred of the dark will never be believed by them, not ever. It is his sad destiny. Half his blood is that of the cursed dark.
Why is she still talking?
Why do the heroes monologue more than the cheesy villains?
Donovan falls in battle, where the ladies desperately try healing him while Pyron's distracted by the Huitzol Zord. This mecha ain't broke yet.
And hilariously, Pyron has my exact same reaction on this anime.
Earth is boring, boring, boring. In all my vast knowledge, there has never been such a one. Be gone, boring planet. Be gone and plague Pyron no more.
The devil is so relatable. We get a pretty wicked kaiju fight where Pyron evolves into his final form, and Huitzel finally proves himself a hero saving the world by killing more people than saving.
Too bad it's Sunday. Those buildings would have been filled up tomorrow.
Not exactly RoboCop, but at least Huitzel's more noble than Netflix Dante. Oh, and Pyron kills Dr. Wily. At least the Megazord battle's cool.
It is, until Huitzel gets his skid plate kicked.
You suck.
My favorite villain's dead, and I feel nothing. Pyron flies off into space to finish this. With life flashing before his eyes, we unlock Donovan's origin. Sure, why not? The last 10 minutes of anime, and we're only now getting our hero's backstory.
Donovan hates himself because of his heritage as a half-human, half-Darkstalker Nephilim. He was tossed down the MK pit to die since the world rejected him as a monster, only for him to encounter Dalsim, a wise Darkstalker monk who mentored him, where we see a more tragic Donovan because he was ultimately full of self-hatred and felt alone, resulting in him not getting along with humans or other Darkstalkers, constantly feeling rage.
What other course do I have than to torture myself? That, and to kill the humans!
Did he say kill humans? That makes him a murderer! Murder!
What?
Did he say kill humans? That makes him a murderer!
He thought about killing humans, but hasn't actually done so, which makes him a murderer? That line is stupid. Leave it to Kevin being Dumbstalker number 1.
I'm such a dork.
But Dalsim salvages his soul with one last speech. He speaks some philosophical BS where finally D learns to love himself for who he is. Yep, that's what this whole 4-hour-long preachy angstfest was all about. Accepting yourself.
Can you not come to peace with your own heart?
It's a great lesson since Donovan represents people who struggle with self-identity, but kind of bogged down by the ceaseless padding getting to this moral. I love that it rewards our hero an actual obstacle to overcome though, since Donovan finally becomes a better person using both his superpowers and human soul to bring the justice he so craves. It's wonderful. It makes him so much more of a man than Netflix Dante.
You shot my leg!
Yeah, but if he learned this in a flashback, shouldn't that mean he knew and liked himself before in the present?
Great continuity!
Stop ruining this.
Then, I kid you not, right the heck out of nowhere, Anita revives Donovan with her magic Pikachu tears.
What?
Yes, Anita's unexplained Darkstalker powers magically save our hero with the power of love. Just like that, Dee's back thanks to her heart, unlocks inner peace through accepting himself, grows Super Saiyan energy, and somehow surfs his blade up to space to kill Pyron, somehow being able to breathe?
How come whenever we're in outer space, we don't gotta wear helmets?
Good question, Sheen. And the answer is quite interesting. You see...
This climax is a load of barnacles. After all these cool battles of the supernatural cryptid struggling in fights, D just Super Saiyans his way to a piss-easy victory. Yep, he loves himself now, fights for the greater good, and punches a black hole in the Super Devil.
So bad!
So, that's our climax. D unlocks spiritual peace, vanquishes the evil, saves our Earth, brings back the light, and even gets Anita to smile!
And believe it or not, that's the end. It's admittedly a super abrupt conclusion, which while fulfilling for DNA, screws over every other plot line. Are Morgan and Dimitri a power couple ruling Makai together? Will life between monsters and humans grow better? Is the demon world stable? Will Donovan pick up Anita? Does Felicia even have a livelihood anymore? Don't know.
Marge, I'm confused. Is this a happy ending or a sad ending?
It's an ending, that's enough.
Although the day is saved, we still win a twist ending. It's merely some lame sequel bait where we see a busted Huitlbot reporting how Earth shouldn't be messed with anymore because the Dark Ones and humans are too strong. It's subtly teased that he's contacting Jeddah, the villain of the final Darkstalkers game, hinting at a sequel which will never happen. Decades later, and all we got were new ports.
Anywho, gamers, that's the full playthrough of Darkstalkers' Revenge. And while it won payback against a tune defect, it didn't quite break the video game movie curse.
Make no mistake, both Kat and I love Darkstalkers. It should be obvious that in spite of our riffing remarks, we are fans of this saga. This anime is monumentally superior to many bad game adaptations, especially Paul W.S. Anderson's Resident Alice or the infamous Netflix Devil May Cry. Tragically though, it can't be denied that this is far from a flawless victory. There are some huge scratches which hold it back from perfection, but it does get some right with the lore. The pacing is pure shite, many scenes drag on for far too long, at least half the Darkstalkers got the short end of the stick, some pointless filler could have been trimmed, many of the best icons and subplots are too out of focus, and fuck them for ruining Morgan last second. Whoever made that blunder deserves to be fired from a cannon into the sun, dying a Lord Pyron death. Objectively, not a gold product, but there's still some shining elements amongst the rough, and in my heart, I do think there's an audience out there for it, just not me. I'm not afraid to admit it's imperfect, but I can still admire its attempt. There's an equal amount of great beauty they captured from the franchise, and it gave these characters epic tributes too. The animation's gorgeous, half the cast are given justice, the action's exactly like the games, seeing fan-favorite icons granted personality and official voices is delightful, and David K is a yes. The main sells easily the art, but I'll warn you that it's definitely aimed purely at fans. You do have to be a fan of this saga, since it does not do a good job reeling in newbies into this universe. Nevertheless, it's more of a worthy spooky story to add to your collection over those dreadful Resident Alice bombs. But for a serious review, it's a 7 out of 10.
As for your favorite feline, I'm a tad more mixed on it. There's a flurry of good and bad here. Donovan's butchered badly by this anime, Anita's boring, and there's way too many angsty speeches and never-ending padding. Easily the best characters are the Hasinko sisters, and especially Felicia. I actually did love parts of this, but that's the thing. Only parts of it are good. I honestly think I'd prefer it as a Darkstalkers Chronicles type of show. You know, with shorts which give simple character-focused tales from the saga. Like a short look at Hasinko, Lord Raptor, Pyron, and Felicia, because when the actual game characters we like are prominent, it truly works wonders. What sadly kills it for me is the god-awful pacing, and the fact that D's not nearly as cool as he is in other media. I really wanted to love this, I truly did, but the harsh reality is that only half of it is good, while the other half is plain trash. It's not the worst thing ever, and heck, I'd actually encourage folks to try it out just to see the cooler icons, but 4 hours of mediocre storytelling doesn't make me love it or full-on recommend it highly. I'm glad the Darkstalkers were taken seriously, since it's a wicked horror title, but the anime forgot that the Night Warriors are also supposed to be fun. Felicia and Hasinko are fun, but nobody else is. It's trying so hard to be more mature than the terrible tune prior that it forgot the world of Darkstalkers has over-the-top horror amusement too. I got into Darkstalkers because it was a fun love letter for horror fans, and has some of the greatest characters in gaming, but the OVA portrays it too much like a miserable angst fest, full of never-ending depression. I appreciate wanting to show the deep layers of the series, but it needed more hope. I'd check it out once to see if you like it, but I don't think it's an underrated video game classic like its killer titles. The Darkstalkers OVA's a solid upgrade for Capcom, but I'd enjoy the Street Fighter II anime instead. So, we gift this creature a silver skull. The OVA is average. Nothing horrible, but also not a playthrough worth bragging about. The Night Warriors tried raising hell, only to end on a mid-match. I'm your host, Catastrophe, and he's... Hey, where'd bro go?
He just disappeared like a creature of the night.
Whatever. I'm flying out.
trouble. It's getting out of hand. Gonna be trouble, your baby and the man. Wanna rumble? How about tonight? They want a war, just let me fight. Gonna be trouble, baby, I'm a trouble man. Wanna fight, come on, don't you understand? I give it double, baby, I'm the trouble man. Baby, I'm a trouble man. Hey, baby, I'm a trouble man. Baby, I'm a trouble man.
Are you a defect?